What's good, family? I feel compelled to do kind of like a part 2 of the Isaiah 4 and 1 Gaza hunger starvation SHTF video that I did, yesterday or so. And this is part 2. I was just giving it some more thought, man. I think that when we look at Isaiah 4 and 1, the theory, or not the theory, but the mind state of Isaiah 4 and 1, the main point that everybody points to is that 7 women is going to take hold of one man. And which is true. And I say that women should already be like that. But living in a Western American society, these type of things are unheard of. Hell, man. I think you had Shannon Sharp get caught up with some OF slut whore or something and lost his job. Millionaires see the concept of polygyny, one man having multiple women and them not having multiple men, but only having him. Polygyny is like a foreign concept here in America because America is a construct that elevates the female over the man. And so even a multi-millionaire is looked upon him, oh my God, you can get away with having multiple girlfriends and they know about each other? Dude, dude, I ain't nowhere near a multi-millionaire, but I've had multiple women at the same time. They knew about it, but they didn't like it. But, it broke up because these women is not used to that. They're not Eastern women. They're not feminine. A lot of them are man haters, and they're not into no Bible. They used to Western stuff, white man stuff, let the woman rule over you kind of stuff. Take half of your old stuff and divorce. They used to this. They used to this queendom stuff. So they're not used to patriarchy. No matter what they say, oh, the patriarchy. This ain't no patriarchy, bro. It's just men at the top of this thing that has it's a matriarchy with dudes at the top, leading the thing. But the real ones that the policies are made for is the women. But the concept of men having multiple wives, it is biblical. Abraham had multiple wives. King David had multiple wives. Solomon had multiple wives. Gideon had multiple wives. The Israelites started from a polygynous relationship. Jacob had multiple wives. There would be no children of Israel as it stands if it didn't come from a polygynous relationship. So God himself, anybody that say polygyny is against God, well, God himself gave David multiple wives. God himself gave that to David. And God said that David is a man after his own heart. He's the apple of his eye. So if God himself gave David multiple wives, then clearly it ain't no sin because God don't sin. But why is a big thing is that it seems like more women are, basically women is going to be broken down, and there's more women coming out now talking about they cool with polygyny and all that, and we need to do this because of black community. You don't really have no say-so in the matter. You understand me? A man, now, we have a culture where the women do the choosing, aka matriarchy. Women do the choosing, and then what they choose is what? They already doing polygyny, bro. They're already in polygynous relationships. It's raggedy, but they already in them. They got this dude over here, and then 10, 20 other chicks like him too and have sex with him. And then they had another dude over there that they like. So they already having sex with 20% of men. You get 80% of the women sharing 20% of the dudes, for example. That's polygyny, bro. Now, it ain't proper and in no kind of order and structure like, say, the scriptures where it's just lay it down in a certain order, one man, multiple chicks, y'all can't have no other dudes. Like, the women don't like that kind of polygamy. They like it where they can do whatever they want to do. So, but my point is, they already doing polygamy. They're just doing it raggedy. So they don't like the order and the structure and the power that it gives men over them, though. Meaning they all gonna have to share one man. See, if they do, they say, oh, he got to be tall or have a big wiener or have big fame or muscles and stuff, or fortune. If he paying all the bills, then I'll agree to that. Now they have a choice is what I'm saying. So Isaiah 4:1 essentially is like, you bitches ain't gonna have no choice no more. That's essentially what it is. All your choices being stripped away in chapter 3. Then you get to chapter 4. Now you're just out there on the ground. And that got me to thinking about like what's going on in Gaza, man. I'm gonna see if I do this thumbnail, man. Oh man, I've been watching some of this stuff. These looking at some of these I can't look at the videos, man. Them joints is harsh. But just watching, I watched one, man, it make you, man, it's terrible. What these white folks, the white Jewish people are doing to these Arabs in the promised land that don't belong to either one of them. But according to the scripture. But I look at that. So I wanted to say that the concept of Isaiah 4:1 essentially is a concept where women going to be back to normal. Like yesterday, I clipped down my lettuce, and in another few days, another week or so, I started watering and stuff. Then more lettuce will grow out of the stalks that's left down there. And it got me to thinking that that's, as I said previously, that's essentially what the Most High is going to do in chapter 3. He's going to break these bras down and clip them down to the nubs. He's going to cut them down. And then now what's going to grow up is going to be pure and better. So as the women have grown spoiled, proud, whorish, happy, and filled with a bunch of attention, I'm going to give you an example. As they have grown, basically, filled up and just overflowing with ease of life and pride and stuff, the Most High got to cut all that off, all the dead stuff, and then all that's going to be left is a nub, a little stump, and from that stump will grow, clean, good fruit, because you cut off all the dead stuff. The pride, the homosexuality, the Most High gonna burn all this stuff away from the women, and what's gonna be left. I was thinking about something else, man. Well, anyways, what's gonna be left is what he called pure, and after he gonna break them down, he'll build them back up, like for the sake of the kingdom. But I was thinking about something. I said a lot of these bras, some of the stuff they're gonna be going through, the concept of Isaiah 4:1 is that multiple women. I'm bottom lining this. The bottom line is that the Most High is going to bring back women to their right mind state, was you have to share a man and you're going to have to kick in. Bring gifts and you're going to have to, ain't none of this being at the top and being served. You're going to have to serve. And he's going to break you down to build you back up. And then now my second point, I was thinking about how some of these chicks going to look. And on the thumbnail, you'll see this is this is a chick that done went through the things that the book Isaiah talk about, the famine, the wars, her dudes dying, her people starving, you see what I mean? Pestilence, diseases, you see what I mean? I don't know about the diseases, but, famine is kind of a disease, and the kids be emaciated. Starvation, after a certain time when you ain't eating properly, they say that you don't really get hungry that much no more, but your body just kind of eat itself. Oh man! In the photo you see, that's a baby, a young child. I was watching this video, man, where this kid was couldn't really move, and like you looked at the picture of the kid before, and then you see the child after. It's like, wow, man, the kid's all tired and emaciated and no energy. And I started thinking about something. I said, some of these chicks, it's like that movie, The Road. Now, in America, it's going to be a dynamic. Well, my main point is that's how it's going to be here in America. See, in America, like that Road movie, the guy and his son on the road movie, there was a scene where they went in, him and his son found like a house, and they went into the house and unlocked this cabin, or like a, basement area. And down up there in the basement area is a whole bunch of, people, some of them, without no arms, missing limbs, you know what I mean? And basically it was a house full of cannibal people that were cannibals hunting other people and keeping them alive in this like basement dungeon area. Because I guess the food ran out. You see what I mean? So and that's real life. People are gonna be hunting and cooking humans. You know what I mean? So that's something that I don't think really get talked about. That's what's gonna be happening in, Isaiah 3. That's what it's talking about, man. People and they say that that's what's gonna happen in Babylon. So I'm thinking like, dang, even as an added note, I'm thinking like, dang, some of these chicks that's going to be make it out of the purge into Isaiah 4:1, some of these bitches are going to be missing legs and arms, man, and breasts or something, they going to, somebody, they might have been in the dungeon or something, and or they might have to sell their arm, you know what I mean, or eat their own arm, because it's going to be lack of food and famine. See, this is what I'm talking. I feel compelled to talk about this further because America ain't never really seen this kind of stuff, famine and stuff. And I think that is a good thing for us brothers who are more so in the know and looking at stuff and watching to see. One thing you hardly ever really hear about is like famine, loss of food and water and stuff. Because America... I was watching this fat broad get in the backseat of this car. I mean, she had to be like 300 pounds. Big old fat, rotund, oval-built chick, man. But yeah, I'm like, I know it's probably somebody that'll kill for that hoe. You know what I mean? Somebody that'll throw their life away. And she probably even got a list of simps that's following her on this, following her around and sniffing behind her trying to get with her. All these women got simps and helpers. And so when you look at it, God is going to remove those simps and those helpers, the food and the water and all her strong and the system that protects her and the simps that protect her. The Most High going to strip this bitch down. Where American women, fat 300-pound bitches, they going to look like the woman. They going to look like the woman on the thumbnail, bro. But, you can't really see, you kind of see her skinny arm, but it ain't going to be no proud, strong, independent bitches. It's going to be, you got to think about what's going to be happening, man. These chicks are going to be, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be 300-pound bitches going to go on you talking about slim fast. Nah, they're going to be getting slim real fast because they're going to be forced to fast. They ain't going to have no food. They used to just eating, fast food, burgers, pizza, shrimp. They used to eating, and they can't control what goes in their mouth, both food and other things. So they're very full, and they're not used to difficulties of any kind. And so a lot of these broads, man, they're going to be overweight, but it's going to be a lot of skin hanging. Hoes going to be losing weight rapidly because they're not going to be eating no food because grocery store is going to be empty. People, I'm talking about the purge, the SHTF. It might not be countrywide, but it's going to be savage here, man. It's going to be real savage here. And I'm thinking like, I'm just, imagining like Americans that never really, it's going to be real hard for the woman to come because it's just come from that high queendom down to stumps, man. That's epic, man. Proud bitches, chicks out here, just out here roaming around like with no care in the world because they got simps and they got the system on their side. I'll call 911. And she'll call 911 on her Pookie simp when he get out of line or he hit her too hard. She'll call 911 on him, or she'll call another one of her simps over and have them meet up, and one of them kill each other, the other one go to jail, and she'll jump to the third simp. So she just sit back and play games with suckers. You see what I mean? Then she got the nice guy simps that she really don't like, but they give her attention, they give her money. These are all dudes that are in her orbit that worship her and help her in her life. So she don't never really go through difficulties for the most part. This is American women, man. Even if she ugly and fat, I'm talking about, bro. Some nigga is hovering around her. So when I look at this and I look at these, like on the thumbnail, the difference between the women who's going on in Gaza, in the land of Israel, those Palestinian women versus the American woman, night and day, bro. Those women are already used to being under male authority. They already Arab chicks. They already, under a patriarchy. And, but they already dress modestly and shit already, you know what I mean? So but what I'm saying is, look how they suffering still, though, because they're going through war. They're going through genocide. They're going through starvation. You know what I mean? They water and their food being cut off. And like I said, they have to go to these food distribution centers in order to get food. And when their husbands go out to go get any, brothers and uncles or whatever, they under a patriarchy is what I'm saying to you. And even, which is proper because a man will be the protector and the leader and the head of the house. However, even in that system, during war, dudes die. During a siege, dudes die. During a forced famine, dudes die. And so what's left behind is chicks like what you see in the thumbnail and their emaciated children, man. That's and it's bad. It's horrible anyways. Only level up it's a big level up, actually. The level up that I would give over to the, who could survive this or whatever. What I'm saying is the edge, if you will, that the Palestinian women have is that they have already been used to war. They've been going to war with the Jewish people for decades. The women have already been under a patriarchy. Their men have already, they already been under the authority of men. They already know hardship. They already know war times and stuff. They already know lack. But my point is, even then, still look at the starvation and look at the difficulties and hardships. Man, they killed like 150 citizens a couple of days ago, something like that. The state of Israel has killed these people. And a lot of these people are going to food places to get food, bro. Like, these ain't no soldiers and stuff fighting against other soldiers, you know what I mean? This is murder, bro. Paid for by your American dollar. But Americans don't really care because it ain't happening over here. So when it happens over here, that's why I said the edge goes to the Palestinian women because they already been through this kind of war going on for many decades. Now, when you pivot that and look on the other flip side of these American women, man, like I said, man, you got 300-pound bitches, 200-pound bitches walking around, ain't missed a meal, 4 meals a day, man. You know what I mean? Be having the garlic bread with the spaghetti and some shrimp, man. These hoes, Popeye's chicken, these broads are really, and what they can't afford, they just have some sucker go by. So what I'm saying to you, Palestinian women have the edge so far as survival because they already done been through it and they going through it now and they understand difficulty and all that. But the American woman, she don't know nothing about loss. She, like I said, you got these 200-pound broads. When this starvation and all this stuff start happening, her helpers die and ain't no more food out there easily accessible like that, and her helpers is gone. Notice I keep saying her helpers, her simps. That mean that she gonna shrink down to like 110 pounds where she should be. 110 pounds from 200 pounds, from 300 pounds down to 110. And it's gonna be a whole bunch of skin sagging and so what I'm saying, a lot of these bros ain't, after those that survive, they're not gonna really be looking like nothing, bro. A lot of them gonna, like I said, man, they done been through a whole lot of stuff, man. Getting raped and partially eaten. Bitch had to cut her arm off to eat it because she was hungry. Think of the skinny. Think about the skin that's gonna be hanging off these fat chicks. They're fat now, but after months and months of not eating properly and just kind of getting by, the Most High gonna strip these bitches all the way down, bro. Fat bitches now, for 4 months from now, they gonna be, 1/4, a 200-pound bitch be shrunk down to 100 pounds, and all that. She ain't gonna have this plastic surgery to go ahead and remove the excess skin. Is what I'm saying. You have bras walking around here like bats, man. How bats have the skin. They have the bones and they have the skin with, that attaches and, flaps to help them fly. You know what I mean? Look up a bat. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these chicks gonna have excess skin. You know what I mean? Because she wasn't meant to lose weight that fast. You see what I mean? But when there ain't no food out here and then the stress levels increase, you know what I mean? You worry about getting shot or eaten or raped. That's what's gonna be out here, bro. So the Palestinian chicks, they have the edge because at least they still have a patriarchy. But when you talking about war, man, hey, women have always been booty and spoils of war. When you look at the children, man, a lot of these children, man, do your own research. I just got this one, but gosh, man, I want to watch some videos. And this is SHTF is what I'm saying to you. This, what you see in Gaza, that's their version of SHTF, and it's heavy. So the Most High will have to be with you. You know what I mean? So these are the visuals I think can be very powerful when you think about giving yourself a mental picture as to how things can really get. Look at the war zone. Look at, it's heavy, man. But you that's what's going on over there, and then pivot it and say, dang, like strategically think like, dang, what if that happened over here? Okay, wow. And what if they cut off? It'd be a terrorist attack on the water purification center or something like that, and now you ain't got no flowing water. You got all these people over here. It's probably terrorists here in America that they done let in over the border over the last administration, etc. They a whole bunch of undocumented immigrants and stuff from these various countries that America is bombed and shit. So you think they don't want to take a nice punch at America? You know what I mean? They're already here. You know what I mean? I mean, so I'm kind of surprised that ain't nothing really happened on a high level like that. But I'm just saying that the scriptures say that it is going to happen. So when the Most High remove the food and water and the women send their suckers and simps out there to go get the food and water. Yeah, I got to go get, I'm hungry. How we going? She got her 2 kids. How we going to feed, little Jarquavion? And, and so all the dudes go out, and they motivated to go help. Hey, we got to go get we support our sisters. But, a lot of them gonna be dead out there. And then some of these chicks gonna eat little Darquavion when it start getting, they go cook them. They doing it now, bro. Like these chicks how many of these black chicks put babies in a microwave or in an oven, bro? Evil. Is this really far beyond the realm of reality? That's how they are now. But what about days and weeks without proper eating and stuff and agitation and she ain't got no help? Whew, man, bro. When you think about this, man, I just be sitting back like, all right, so when we look at this young boy, I think it's a boy that she hold, man, he all super skinny and stuff. But I done seen, a little kid, man, his ribs showing and stuff, legs all super skinny and stuff and belly bloated and stuff. It's hard to look at, man. And you see the photo of what they were before. Dang. And imagine that's a country that is highly politicized and a whole bunch of attention is going to it and stuff like that. But here in America, bro, this stuff start happening. Americans don't care about each other, man. America has one of the highest, armed populations in the world. People go, man, this is a violent country, bro. People gonna go get it, man. And they not gonna care, man. They ruthless. A lot of these dudes out here, they waiting to have the purge so they could have their Diego moment. You know what I mean? Diego moment was the dude in one of the Purge movies, this Hispanic dude. He what'd he say? He said, "It's my time to purge." So he was waiting on his time to purge so he could rape this chick and her daughter. You understand me? But at the last moment, you know what I mean, somebody came in and saved her, some soldiers or something. But in real life, it ain't really gonna be like that. People, ain't gonna be no dude popping up out of nowhere to protect random chicks like that. Like even in them, was it the same? Yeah, that was the same one. I forgot which purge that was. Which one was that? I think that was the one when the father died and the light skinned dude died and gave himself to be purged for his daughter and her daughter, his granddaughter. I think that I forgot which purge that was, man. But I watched this, so that was giving you kind of idea. But magically some dude came and saved the day and all that. Nah, bro, that's gonna happen here in spurts. But in real life, man, you gonna probably this is gonna be the time of judgment for the Most High putting that work in here in this country. And the most part, you're gonna see what you see in the thumbnail and worse. It's hard to look at, but you feel sorry for the kids, but you're like, man, if the kid gonna die, you would rather they die quick and just go to heaven, you know what I mean? You know, but not, lingering, deaths and, hungry, and ribs showing and stuff, man. That's horrible, bro. But that's what's gonna happen, man. It's really sad. It's really heart touching, man. But gosh, man, when you think about it, that's what's gonna be happening here, bro. Wild, wild west, but worse. And I'm thinking like, man, you talking about lawlessness in America, bro. Dang. And I'm thinking like, dang, the difference, the kicker is like this. The difference with America is a way bigger country. And then number two, who would be, like over there in the Palestinians understanding who is attacking them. Number one, they have a patriarchal culture. The man is over the woman. And the women are already forced to be in modesty. And then it's an identity. They know who the enemy is. It's the Jewish people paid for by American dollars to bomb them and bomb their hospitals and schools and stuff. So they know who the enemy is. And so, yeah, they fighting their war and stuff, but at least they know who attacking them, right? Here in America, when it happens here, like, I think the main, what movie was that? Leave the World Behind. One of the main things, the points I got when they was explaining who did this attack and stuff like that, it was that nobody knew who did the attack. You know what I mean? It was like, and that was one of the main things. What did he say? When there ain't no clear, what he said? He said something like, when it is not no clear enemy, then the people don't really know basically who the enemy is, and they can all get together and then go against the enemy, right? Whereas, in other words, if you have a clearly defined enemy, who attacked us? Oh, it was Russia, or oh, it was Iran. Now we can all unify and go against this bad guy. Well, when the stuff hit the fan and stuff, and maybe it's the EMP, or maybe we don't know what it's going to be, you ain't going to hear me on the internet. You know what I mean? I'm going to be hiding, you know what I mean? But, when it's just confusion is what I'm saying. Then that's like, yo, who do we fight against? Oh, shoot, your neighbor's coming through your, window. And you're like, oh, hey, what's up? Oh, Joe, how you doing? He's like, yeah, I know you got food, so give me what you got. Or, you're like, oh, whoa. Hey, bro, we used to drink beers together. He's like, yeah, that I don't care about that. And so now your enemy would be your neighbor. Ain't no clearly defined enemy. You see what I mean? Your enemy is your neighbor. Your enemy is your friend. Your enemy could be the Russians, could be Iranians. We don't know, blah, blah, blah. So the populace cannot really galvanize and get together against this threat. I mean, I don't know how it's going to play out. But I don't know how it's going to play out. But I know that America is masters of the spin. However, when we look at this thing, America is very divided already. Like, you got people that was for Trump, and now they're like, oh, this dude lied to us. And people, everything and every move this dude make is unstable. So when it's like he made the public of America unstable. See what I mean? Like for example, he got into office with promise of ending the wars, not starting any more wars, and building the economy. Now he's like done the opposite of all three. So yo, as the head of the country is, so are the people. So the country of America, the head of the country, Trump is all over the place, man. Like he don't got no. He's supposed to be meeting with Putin, I believe, this week. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. Uh, but this dude's unstable, man. He's not reliable, and so the people under his authority, the Americans, they're unreliable. And so if a attack happened or whatever, his food is gone, it's gonna be people fighting against people, man. And it's gonna be like a mess, man, because America's the strength. There's a strength in knowing who your enemy is, and then you can galvanize against that force. But in America, they're already divided, you see, and the enemy is already within many of these terrorists and the different Arabs or different countries, or Latin Americans or whatever. But definitely the ones who know for doing terrorist attacks, they're already here in America. So some Chinese or whatever they say came over the border, like, dude, it's been a free for all. Let them all in, right? So they're already here, bro. Maybe they just waiting for their orders to be, acted and something like that. But dude, or maybe it'll be not no one attack, maybe a series of attacks. So boom, boom, boom. This is a big country. I don't know if you can just do one attack. You know what I mean? So I think it's quite honestly, it's impossible to secure this place when you got your enemy inside already. You know what I mean? Are we going to deport all the illegals? Good luck with that, bro. You're talking about tens of millions of people, bro. Like, they're undocumented. How you even going to do this? You don't even have the police force to police your people. Now you're talking about creating, ICE. So we got to. I don't see America being able to deport all these illegal people, man. Whether they be from Middle East, South America, Asia. How you gonna do this? They're already here and they already doing their thing. Like, so, but scripture also says that he gonna fill America with men as with caterpillars. So that tell you that the enemy's already within. You look at a caterpillar cluster, it's just a bunch of caterpillars up in there, you know what I mean? Just waiting to devour the tree, trying to find a way out so they can devour the tree that they in. Yo, man, so my main point is that the women in America are not ready for what's coming, is what I'm saying. And it's going to be heavy, man. Like I said, brothers, if you got a decent woman been with you, sure up that relationship. Make sure, hey, put her through maybe some series of submission. You make sure that, bro, you can't really 100% trust anybody. And I wouldn't really tell her all this and that, but like about your secret plans and secret stash of food and all that reserves and all. I would tell her about this prep and stuff. I wouldn't. But put her through a submission and tests. Make sure she clamp down on her. You know what I mean? And make sure that she gonna have your back as much as you can. But still don't trust her though. Because remember Lot's wife, you know what I mean? So this is something I was thinking about, man. I just was sitting back and looking at it. I said, man, a lot of these chicks ain't gonna have no arms, legs. Their scalp gonna be burnt. They're gonna have kids that, be emaciated and hungry. These gonna be some broken down females. You see the chick in the thumbnail, you know what I mean? She, at least they was getting aid. You see what I mean? For a period of time, and then the Jewish people got rid of where they was getting aid from and made them have to come get aid and food aid from them. So as they come and getting the food aid from them, shooting them down like dogs, man. But that's a siege, man. So you imagine, I don't know how they could do a siege nationwide in America. I can't see that, but I could see them hitting certain food distribution centers and water purification centers. I can see that, or electrical grid areas. So I'm thinking like that, and Americans ain't used to being farming because America's too big, man, for them to just do a food siege, in my opinion. And America doesn't have a police force to force. I don't know. It's interesting in a negative way, of course. But how can they get rid of the access to food? I think would be when you look over the last few years, you've been seeing. Well, actually, now I think about it, there has been some food plants that have closed down. Then you look at for the last few years, many farmers have been forced monetarily and stuff to close their farms, etc. So, like, this is a purposeful internal demolition. You know what I mean? So, interesting stuff, man. I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head completely around all of this, but a good visual to see is look up Gaza, children starving, women emaciated, skinny, war, something like that, combination of something like that. Then you kind of see a visual, man. Look up some of the video, man. It's hard to, it tugs at your heart, man. If you got, you got a heart, you know what I mean? So, but I see that coming here, man. But worse because the pride is so, it's going to be worse here though, bro. Because it probably ain't going to be nobody out here handing out aid, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going to be, bro. But people going to be, I think that is another thing they said in that movie, Leave the World Behind. What did he say? Basically, he was talking about how people, what did he say? He kind of gave you the plan. He said basically cause an EMP or something like that, and then people ain't going to be able to figure out who did it. But in the meantime, and keep everybody in confusion, and you take care of the problem themselves. Most of the people going to kill each other. So that kind of couples with what the other what they say, like if an EMP takes place in America within a year, 90-something% of the people would be dead within a year. Just the EMP, not alone just a nuclear blast and explosion. We talking about just the EMP. So they're going to be dead because of the blast, because of the famine. They're going to be dead because they ain't going to be able to go to the store, get no food. They don't know how to farm nothing. And when you got chaos going on out there, people, how you going to farm? You see what I mean? People going to have to be leaving the areas. You have a lot of people that's going to be refugees. Like, they broke in our house, or the whole area here caught on fire because the electronic boxes blew up, the electrical boxes, you know what I mean, on the telephone poles, surge and it caused fire, like the electricity backfired and zapped into the houses and caused the houses to catch on fire. Man, it's a whole lot of stuff, bro. So now people on the move, they had to take whatever they could, and they got to get on the road and just go somewhere. But while they on the road, they might have their gun, but other people got gun. And so now you got a whole bunch of refugees out here, easy targets. You see what I mean? That was forced out of their homes because of fires, or forced out of their houses because people was breaking in the houses. So you got to So the chaos, the people's, then you also consider America has a lot of people that has mental issues, and the only way that they stay on point is if they medicated and stuff. A lot of issues that say like the Palestinian people don't necessarily have. You see what I mean? So it's gonna be a real. Then you look at just the violent culture of America, period, man. More specifically, talking about the women, dude, like. They ain't never seen difficulty. All they know is dress like a hoe, get attention from simps and suckers, have sex with whoever you want to, and if this dude got money but you don't really like him, have sex for the money, and you turn a few tricks when you feel like it, but you still got the dude you actually like. Then you got the other dude to provide money and attention and food and dinner and worship. Like, these bitches are heavily in their queendom. They at the goddess status, bro. Your average American woman. So it's a time of like fierce judgment, man. Like wrath and judgment on these chicks more specific. That's what Isaiah 3 is about, breaking women down, getting rid of the simps, clipping them out, breaking down the broads and breaking them down so where they be skinny, bony, they probably won't even have no booty cheeks and stuff. Like, you know, you look at look at a young kid, man. His legs, his bones, you know, where his hips is and stuff. Chick's legs gonna be bones, man. The body gonna be eating itself, eating the fat reserves. Then it goes to the muscle reserves. People gonna be tired and not have the energy to move. Women ain't gonna be having. You gotta think. I'm just like, you know, imagining stuff. A lot of women ain't gonna be thick like that and having the big titties and all that. They're gonna be stripped, and the body because of lack of food, the body gonna strip itself. The body gonna be eating the fat. You gotta have a skinny chick. You probably gotta have a skinny chick out with a BBL. She gonna be bones with a BBL. Bones with some silicone tits, man. But oh gosh. You know, it's crazy. I seen a stupid photo where this chick had a bad BBL. The legs was all super skinny and the BBL was super big. But that's what, you know, chicks are artificial. You know, they're going to be stripped down, man. The Most High going to strip these hoes down. And they're going to be skin and bone. And they ain't going to have no man. It's going to be crazy, bro. I just wanted to talk about that dynamic of a lot of these chicks ain't probably going to even have no arms. An arm or one arm missing or something like that. Or their kid's arm missing. The kid, she had 3 kids, but hey, you know, in order to survive, one of them had to go. You know what I mean? So, he even talks about a scripture where the famine was so bad that people was 2 things. What was it? It was giving money away for like dove doo-doo, a bird's doo-doo, bro. It was paying money for a bird's doo-doo. Bird doo-doo that you wash off your car, people pay money, like, you know, let's say, I don't know, $30 in our money. I'm just guessing. Say $10. They paid $10 for some bird droppings, bro. Now you can use bird droppings for fertilizer, but in this case, I'm saying that's what people was that hungry, bro. And a donkey's head, they paid I'm gonna say $50 for a donkey's head. It's $100. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is like we ain't never seen family like that. And may the Most High have mercy on us. The men of the Most High won't see mercy like that. A lot of us, hey, it's a time of war, and you gotta get it how you can. But I would not be out here trying to go get it for none of these rebellious bitches. Only women that's under my authority and have proven themselves. You know what I mean? So this kind of go strip. This is why you can see why men shall betray one another. Friends shall fight like enemies. You know what I mean? Because if they got food, and you got food and they know you got it because your woman done ran her fat mouth, then her cousins and aunties and all that, they gonna want, they didn't prepare. What's that old saying? We don't need to prepare because if the stuff hits the fan, we'll just come to your house. And if you've been going on telling them, oh yeah, I'm a prepper and y'all need to prepare and get ready for the collapse, but they gonna be like, well, they take a mental note and say, well, good old Joe, he knows how to do all this prepping stuff. So, yeah, we'll just come to your house, Joe. And Joe's like, well, hey, I ain't got enough to share with you and my family. I gotta feed my family. Well, you know, Joe might have to go, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, Joe, yeah, we know all that. We should have prepped and all that. But you know what, Joe? We didn't, so you better give us what you got or, you know what I mean, we're going to take it. So now Joe's faced, there you go. Friends become enemies, you see? So these are all, I don't know. I can see this scenario under this president, man, because everything is just unstable with this dude. He putting tariffs on this, and the tariffs come back. Who got to pay for the tariffs? That's a tax on your own population. Like, if they think about it, say, what do you get from China? Everything, right? But let's say you get a TV from China, and it costs $200. Well, a 50% tariff is going to make the cost to go up to $300 on the person that's buying the TV, the American consumer. That's stupid, man. You punishing your American populace, bro. But a lot of people don't know what tariffs are. It's a tax on the consumer. Yeah, it hit the the Chinese because they're gonna be selling less products. Sure, but so where the people that's gonna worsen your economy because your people ain't spending money in your economy. Like, that's stupid. It's really stupid to tax your populace that you're already in a financial downturn. You're gonna tax them more. So we're gonna put taxes on you. Basically, you're making everything more expensive for people to buy and carry out their regular lives within your own country. But people don't really see it like that or know, but that's what it is. This nigga taxed the world. But really, all he really did is made it more difficult for people to do business with America. Different countries do business. Importing beef and importing fruits, it's a 50% tax on it. That's gonna go to the consumer. It's not even go. It's like, so, dude, you want to lower prices, bro? Like, this dude is increasing the cost, bro. It's stupid, bro. But people, put those taxes on it. No, I mean, it's not making. So, they said it's going to be a period of time then the American consumer will start to see how negatively the tariffs, negatively, which is a added tax actually, but the tariffs, they're going to see how negatively the tariffs actually, when that materializes, is going to take place, and it's going to how negative it will affect the American consumers. Anyways, man, a lot of stuff going on, but keeping it straightforward. But Isaiah 4:1, women should already be in the mind state of sharing a man. And this should be already like socially forced if we was in a patriarchy. But we ain't. So it's a big deal. The mentality of women being under the man and subjugated again is a big deal here in America, in the West, because women have been so liberated, and so they're so far away from what they supposed to have been, which is humble. And already it ain't even nothing that women need to be getting on, and just, you should already be in the mind state of being subjugated. As I said, you got millionaires who can't even have other chicks. So he's cheating. Their woman will leave him, this millionaire dude, because he's quote, quote, cheating. Where are you getting your definition from so far as him cheating? Do you know that you as a woman are a servant? You as a woman are a piece of property according to the Most High's law? You as a woman don't even have authority over your own prayers. When you're married to your husband can disannul your prayers. That's complete authority, bro. But that's my point. It's the patriarchal way should already be in place. But the point that it's not, that's why Isaiah 4:1 is a big deal, and getting it back into the heads of the chicks. My mentality is like, you should already be humble. Men should already have multiple women. But that's the way it should be. It's not the way it is. I understand that. So, but Isaiah 4:1, women being humble, that should already be a thing. So it's going to take women getting stripped down and emaciated, broken way down, man. Booty's going to be shrunken. Thighs going to be shrunken. You got a bunch of skinny, crackhead looking bitches around here, man. Meth head chicks. You know what I mean? you got you got a bunch of chick, like built like Cardi B. Bitch, it's gonna be hips, but ain't no meat gonna be on them. Ain't gonna be no fat in the right places no more. Bitches gonna be stripped down, man. Titties gonna be stripped down. Arms gonna be flapping, bro. Belly's gonna be sagging. Like when a chick lose weight and stuff, be on that let's say she do what they call it, liposuction and stuff. Well, then you see the sagging belly and stuff, and then she got to get a second surgery or whatever to trim away the fat. You know what I mean? But hey, man, during SHTF, ain't no liposuction. Your liposuction gonna be, when your belly touching your back, and you ain't gonna be having nothing to eat. You know what I mean? And that's your liposuction. It's gonna be happening day after day when you ain't got nothing to eat and you still stress. That's your liposuction, but you ain't gonna have the surgery to strip that fat off, strip that skin off, and slice it and give you a nice tummy tuck so you'll be nice and tight again. Nah, a lot of these chicks gonna be emaciated, bruh. My imagination just got cranking. I just was thinking about this stuff, so thought I'd just drop another vid, but yeah, man, that's something to think about, man. Ain't gonna be no dudes that pop up out of nowhere all of a sudden, saving hoes. We gotta save. You gotta save. Dudes going around saving bitches gonna be dead, bro. You gotta save your own butt, man. Man, it's in a way, man, because the women are so proud. I'm just interested in seeing how this is gonna play out, man. It's like, yeah, it sounds like horrible times, man, and it is horrible times. I mean, you talking about famine, bro? I don't want to be here for this, bro, because America has a special judgment for America. God has a special judgment for America, and a special judgment for the women of America because of their pride, and So, what does it say? Oh, I'm gonna leave you with this. What does Scripture say? As America has lived deliciously and lavishly, you see what I mean? Lived at the top. Now you can parallel that to the women, as the women have lived deliciously and been goddesses and strong and independent boss babes. The scriptures say, give unto her double in the, double judgment. Double, like in other words, she's been this high and living a good life. Give her double the bad life. I know that pertains to America, Babylon. However, you can absolutely parallel it to the women, man, because Babylon is looked upon as the whore, and if you parallel that to the women in America, they primarily whores. So double the bad that they receive, double unto them. Give the judgment is going to be, I don't know the specific numbers, but just something to think about. She lived at level 100, we'll give her 200 in the negative. Anguish. What does it say? Anguish, loss of children, famine, pestilence, hunger. That's not, man, American woman, bro, they ain't used to that at all. They ain't used to going without meals. They ain't used to going without simps. They ain't used to going without worship. They ain't used to going out without attention. Ain't no dude gonna really be caring. Dude's gonna be trying to survive. Smart dude's gonna be trying to survive. Simps that's going around trying to help bitches, they ain't not gonna live long. You know what I'm saying? I mean, trying to go around and saving broads, man, they not gonna live long because, it's not gonna be time to be going around saving bitches. But anyways, it's gonna be some crazy times, bro. I'm trying to think about anything else before I get off, man. But yeah, she gonna receive double of the judgment, man. Just as America has lived deliciously and is untouched, really, who really messed with America all these years, bro? Really? Primarily nobody. America's the boss. The big bad boss at the end of the video game, man. When they fall, they fall. So, jeez, man. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Revelation 18:6. It says, it's talking about Babylon. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. You could parallel this to a woman. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen or a strong independent boss babe, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. That's how the mentality of a lot of women in America. I'm just paralleling this here, just to show the purpose, for the purpose to show how the Most High is going to strip that pride down. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Plagues are coming in one day to the country, but even more so to the women who are the weaker vessel. What's coming? Death and mourning and famine. Death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. So then you can parallel that in Isaiah 3 when it say that she gonna be, instead of beauty, it shall be burning or something like that. So, I mean, we can parallel things. That is a double meaning, but it's something I was thinking about, man. Most High, yeah, he angry with the country, but he angry with the women too. Because within the country, it also talk about within America is the blood of the prophets. When you look at the women of America, how many of those children that they murdered would have been saints, would have been righteous sisters and brothers, you see what I mean? Or prophets, you see what I mean? We don't even know. You give them a chance, you kill them in the womb. So, that's something to think about too. With the judgment that's coming to the woman is heavily, heavily overdue. Whether it's the homosexuality or women being super whores and adulteresses and murdering children. A lot of these bitches into witchcraft. Yo, bro, like all these things that are abominable that have been allowed, the LGBT community, they have been allowed to go on in abundance. That's where the Most High judgment gonna be heavy on them. So when you see these chicks and stuff start, let's say you in the SHTF, and you see this chick, help me, like Popeye the Sailor Man, help me, Popeye, somebody save me. You don't even know what that bitch been doing. She might be a witch, man, a voodoo high priestess or something, man. And she up here, the Most High judging that bitch, and now she's skinny and emaciated. You don't know nothing about her. That's Isaiah 4:1. Yeah, they're gonna be seeking you, but you don't know her. You don't know nothing about this chick. And the Most High know her though. See what I mean? And she might be done have 4 deletions. That's murder, man. She killed 4 kids and in witchcraft, and maybe even had 3 baby daddies, cheat on her husband. You know what I mean? And divorce that. Yeah, like the Most High let things go on for a period of time. And then nobody want to hear a woman screaming and yelling, but that's not my problem, bro. She's not my woman. She ain't under my authority. She's not my problem. She's not helping me in my life right now. So whatever happened to her, happened to her. Anyways, yeah, it's a time of love and mercy, and it's a time of war. And a time of war, you don't know these chicks. She could be a setup chick, and in the judgment that the Most High has placed on that bitch, you might get in the way of that. You know what I mean? Trying to save her, you might be stopping the will of the Most High. You know what I mean? So why? Nah. You gotta be careful with that, because God might want to get her, and you in the way of God getting her, so you get caught up. You know what I mean? You got, man. Ain't gonna be time to be going out here saving random bitches, man. It's gonna be about you and your survival, you pivoting and moving, and anybody that has proven themselves, or maybe the Most High led you to help or whatever. But yeah, man, ain't no time to be accumulating bitches. That's just my thought. Anyways, brothers, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.